today I'm doing a little story time because let me just tell you, some shit went down. Hey, so welcome back to my channel. So this is the story of how I ran into my boss at the weed store, aka SQDC. Kind of awkward. It was like a typical day. This is like a typical, I want to say it was a Thursday, okay? Wednesday or Thursday, something like that. She'll probably dispute this. Yep, my boss is a woman and she's awesome. And this is my former boss, by the way. This is not my current boss. I would never post about a current place where I'm working because one, that's just cringeworthy. Two, I didn't exactly like ask her permission, so I didn't want anyone to like, if you know me, like search me up, like who's your boss? Like I am not about that. But yes, one of my former bosses, I actually ran into. I live in Montreal, Quebec, so we've got stores called the SQDC, if you didn't know, and it's basically the weed store. You go there and you pick up your weed and you go home and you smoke it like a regular person. Or if your building doesn't let you smoke it, you go outside and do your thing, you know, whatever, mental health and all that stuff. Or if you're getting better from an illness or whatever. You know what I mean. So basically, so I'm standing in line. Standing in line at the SQDC is like a little bit rough, okay? Because depending on the time of day where you are, it's kind of like lining up for any other government thing. It takes forever. You're in a line that can sometimes be all the way down the street and around the corner. When you get to the door, you're stopped at the door because only a certain amount of people are allowed in the lineup that's inside as well. That's right, there's two lines, not one, of course. So I stood in that line, waited for about like, I want to say I waited for 15 minutes on a busy day. 15 to 20 minutes on a busy day. Not so big of a deal. I have a phone, thankfully. I've got headphones. At this time, that's a lie because I actually lost the case for my AirPods the other day and I'm getting new ones, thank God. But basically, stood in line for my 15 to 20 minutes, right? And then so once you're done that line, then you get to go inside and be in the line indoors, and that's when they check your ID. So I'm in that line now, and I was kind of like, you know, like I'm kind of like flirting through my bag because one, I'm so bad, like I lose ID all the time. There are times when I just have no valid ID, like nobody can tell whether I'm from Canada or not. Like I didn't know where to find my birth certificate. I didn't have like a valid health card because I moved provinces. And to get the new Medicare card, I had to do XYZ, but when you're new to Quebec, like Quebec is its own country, whether Canada wants to admit it or not, because they've got their own whole set of rules. So I came here from Ontario. Sorry, this is like a segue. I came here from Ontario. My Ontario health card, once I moved over, does not cover basically anything. So I would have to cover things out of pocket, but I can redeem it once I get like my new card, right? So my Ontario card expired, I got a new Medicare card. The Medicare card expired in 1 year. So my Medicare card expired last November. Did I go renew it? Even though they sent me my renewal forms? Absolutely not, because I was working and then I was also simultaneously sick all the time, which, okay, this makes much more sense because I am one of those people, I do not go to the doctor unless I am heavily bleeding or I can't get out of bed. If I can't get out of bed, I'm calling an ambulance because I'm not walking to the doctor because I don't have even like a doctorate here yet. It took like over a year to get it, and then once they did call me like, hey, we've got a doctor for you, I didn't have a valid Medicare card, so they had to call me back. So anyways, while I'm going through all of this, the reason I did not have my Medicare card as a form of ID, which you can do in Montreal, Quebec, is because I let it expire. 100%, this is my bad, okay? I am sort of an adult by most standards, so I should have done that, whatever. So at this point in time, all I had is my passport. So I'm searching through my bag, trying to get my passport ready for this guy who's gonna check me because honestly, most of the time I look like a child. I am a grown adult most of the time. So when people ask me for like ID and stuff, I'm just like, how old do you think I am? And the response is always, you are a child. You look like a child. Sometimes you behave like a child. We don't know what you are. Show us your ID, which I understand. I understand. I am not trying to tell any professional that you guys can't check my ID. I'm just saying, sometimes I'm a little offended. But anyways, back to the story. So I showed this guy my passport. So I'm standing in the second line inside the SQDC now, right? Staring at my phone. So I'm getting close to the start of the line, thankfully. It's near closing time, so like where I was basically the end of the line. I finally got in. So I'm in there, I'm standing, and I'm looking at my phone, and then I'm looking up because basically the top security guard tells you when it's your chance to go, and you get to stand in a little queue and then see if you want like sativa, hybrid, or indica, or whatever you want. So I'm standing there and I keep looking to see from my phone to see if he's telling me to go yet, and he hasn't told me to go. And then I happen to look up and I see a hat turning the corner. And guys, I don't know what it is about my attention to detail for certain things, but my mind was like, you know that hat. And I don't know why. My mind was like, yeah, you know whose hat this is? But I knew whose hat it was, right? So my mind didn't fully click that the hat might belong to, you know, like a person who I was working for. Did not click at all, okay? So my mind is just like, oh, you know that hat, you should probably say something. I'm one of those people, if I see you and I know you and we're on good terms, I'm gonna say hi, okay? Even if you didn't expect to see me that day, if you thought I was across the city or whatever, I will say hi to you because it's not that big of a deal. You just say, you know, like whatever. That person is like turning like they're gonna leave, but they stop kind of to like search in their bags. I'm just like, I recognize that hat. So I peek around the corner and it is my boss, guys. Like I have never been so shocked. It took like 5 seconds of shock, and people who know me like know that I like to talk a lot. I don't like to stop either. I'm one of those people, like if you interrupt me what I'm saying in a conversation, I'm like and I wait for you to finish and then I continue what I'm saying because I need to get myself out. So she's like around the corner, just like in her bag, and I was like, my brain's like, should I say something? Should I not say something? Is this weird? Is this weird? And a part of me is just like, nah, just say something. Just say hi. You know you like her. She's nice. So I go, and I'm like, let's call her Amy. I'm like, Amy? And she turns around. She like looks around. She's like, oh, hey. And I'm just like, this is awkward as fuck. And you know what? It's not her fault. I was the one who reached out. She probably wouldn't have seen me if I didn't say anything. But I was like, I honestly, like, I just wanted to say hi. I didn't think there was anything wrong with saying hi. So I did, and then, you know, like we're doing like small talk like you do with when you see your boss at the weed store. And she basically just like threw it out there like, hey, do you want me to wait for you to finish? So I was like, yeah, I want you to wait for me to finish. Let's talk a little bit about this. So I go, I know exactly what I'm getting. Every time I go there, I am an in and out person. Okay, I worked at Starbucks for 3 years, so people standing in line to get to the board to see what they want and then conferring with the salespeople to see what they want when they've been there multiple times, not my business. I like to get in, get out. So I go up to the counter, I say what I want. Thankfully, it was near the end of the night, so there weren't that many people there, so I was able to like go up, purchase what I want, and went back to meet her so we could like talk outside. So we go outside, and she's just like, yeah, I've been like smoking for years. It's so crazy to see you and all this stuff. And in my head, I'm just like, yeah. I'm like, part of me is just like, my boss knows I smoke weed. And it's just like, oh, I could never be late for work again. That's the first thing that runs through my mind. Of course I can be late. Of course there can be circumstances or whatever. But like in my mind now that I know that she has confirmed, in my mind, I can't do anything. I have to kind of just take it as it goes. In my mind, I thought I was in trouble at first, okay? So I had to talk it out with her, and we were fine. It was like a good conversation. We joked a little bit. All of a sudden she was just like, I can see the nervousness on her face. She's like, I don't know, I feel like I'm gonna go grocery shopping, because initially we both take the same subway to get to a place where it, like, basically the paths divert. So we were gonna walk back to the subway together, but I feel like that would have been even more awkward. So she was just like, oh, I don't know if I should go and if I should go get my groceries right now. This is like late at night, guys, okay? The grocery stores are closing. And I'm like making small talk, like, yeah, you know, like I get my groceries down the street from where I live, and like, you know, they close at this time, and you know, I was on my way to do something. Guys, I was on my way to do nothing but smoke, okay? I had a long day, and all I wanted to do was go home and, like, you know, like do a little something and just relax and go to sleep for work the next day. Because yeah, this was, I don't know about other people, but going on the weekend to the weed store is not a thing. It is always busy, and I was not in the mood for always busy. I just wanted to get something that I could have for like the next week, maybe 2 weeks, and then like get my stuff and go. So yeah, she ended up going the other way. It wasn't as awkward the next day as I expected it to be. Like, I went into work and whatever, and she actually made a joke about it. Like, only we knew. I just want you guys who are watching this to know I am not ashamed of smoking, because it's nothing to be ashamed of. It is government regulated, government approved kind of thing. And I used to live in Toronto, and I'm telling you guys, like, getting it from a brick and mortar store as opposed to getting it from that guy down the street who has the good strain, who has a pit bull, who has a bunch of other deals going down, they are two different things, okay? And the reason why this is so incredulous to me is just because I didn't expect to run into anyone at the local weed store. That's, I don't know. I don't know about other people. I don't know about states who have it approved. I don't know about other provinces who have it approved, but it's kind of awkward that your first time when you're out and you're just like out and about, you meet your boss at the local weed store when you're just trying to chill. She did actually invite me to smoke, so that's how we knew I was like in the total clear. She was like, yeah, we should smoke sometime. And I don't know if she meant it or not, but I did when I said yes. Because I feel like there are certain personalities that you need to see high, and that was one that I definitely want to take a look at. We haven't done it yet, but I definitely want to see where that goes, if it goes anywhere. I don't know if anything even happens. I don't know if it happens to you. If it does happen to you, could you tell me about your experience below? And if there's any of you who have never done this, could you tell me about like an awkward experience that you had running into someone that you should never necessarily run into in a place? Because I can't be the only one who thinks that it was completely awkward. It was completely awkward for a few seconds. Like, we ironed it out, and it's totally legal and everything like that, and there's nothing wrong with it, but it was just like, huh. If you liked this video, could you please subscribe to my channel, or like this video below, or I don't know, send me a tweet. I've got all my links down below. Mostly they're Shanice Lawrence. You can search me anywhere. But yeah, please tell me some experiences, do some stuff. I would like to feel less awkward about this if I can, but every time I tell this story, I just feel weirder and weirder about it. Like, I'm making a big deal out of nothing, but at the same time, it's like, who else does this happen to? Why does this happen to me? All right, see you next time. Bye.